are here again, and as usual, it's all about the ECOWAS, the security of West Africa, the justice in West Africa, the injustice that we are suffering at this point in time. One secret about injustice is that it's always competing against justice. Some people's version of injustice is another people's version of justice, while some other people's version of justice is other people's version of injustice. So they always clash. We all have opinion. But there's one thing. When you come to injustice, it's all about insecurity. And the baseline that is fundamental and critical to insecurity is poverty. Of course, justice comes in so many forms. Criminal justice, civil justice, and natural justice. The natural justice aspect is where the issue of what? Poverty comes in. The more people are able to afford their natural needs like food, clothes, housing, healthcare, and education, the more their level of insecurity goes down. And the more they don't have these things, the higher the level of their what? Insecurity. And that do put pressure on everything, every societal challenge. And in West Africa, we have this serious problem. You can see the youth running away. The solution to this is very simple. We need to address the issue of insecurity. And to address the issue of insecurity, we need to address the issue of poverty. And to address the issue of poverty, we are confronted of how do we deal with poverty? Is dealing with poverty about allowing people to sleep at home and be feeding them? No. They would rather be committing crimes and causing problems. Job creation. Job creation is like schools. When you build schools, you've denied or taken away that liberty, the time for the children to go and commit crime because they are in the school, they are in the classroom. Exactly. That is how job and employment deal with the issue of poverty. When people have jobs, they make money, they take care of themselves. Whether you are running a capitalist or socialist, we are not interested in the socialists and the capitalists and the East and the Zim-Zims. No, we are in the era of practical reality. No child in West Africa should go to bed without food. So how do we deal with the issue of insecurity, unemployment? Very simple, very simple. Let's take one product, one thing, the whole world, just one thing, and let's say in West Africa we want to deal with this thing together. Car production. We want to have a brand, a West African brand, one brand, to say this particular vehicle, car, as an ordinary personal car, 5-seater, or 2-seater, or 7-seater, or a van, they use the same engine. Car. If we take microwave, or ironing, or any other thing, most of these things with the reasonable need and the need of the ordinary man in West Africa, the parts are too small. But with the car, parts are so many. Now share each part to each country. You make the lights. This country, Ghana, you make it right. Togo make battery. You, Liberia, in fact, they have a lot of rubber. You make ties. And then you share to all of them. Nigeria will have far more than anyone. Yes, for everyone all of them have, Nigeria will have two. The reason is very simple. The reason is that, you see, it's big, we all know, and we want everyone to be in and we work together. If Nigeria alone, of course, the only country in West Africa that can produce a car today, and be viable is Nigeria. But because of our international relationship that we can't cross borders, we can't trade, it will become difficult. Ghanaians will rather go to Germany, Ivory Coast will go to France, and they will buy the cars. But if we are giving everybody something to do, then they will be committed to buying that vehicle. All of us will benefit. Now let's take it this way. One thing that is holding us back, do you know how many jobs that these industries will create? Let me give you a good example. You are producing a car and you give one particular country, that all the ties for this particular car, when it's coming out of the factory, it's coming from this, what do you call it, industry in that country. A car has 4 tires, 4 wheels. In West Africa, we import at least 20 million cars a year. There are 400 million of us. 20 million cars a year, right? Good. 20 million cars, they come in, import duty, everything we charge. But remember, we are only creating jobs for the car manufacturers elsewhere. We only drive them around. So we are importing what we call importation of jobs. We don't want it that way. We want to create the jobs. 4 ties. And we are making, assuming out of the 20 million import, we limit ourselves to just 5 million cars from within. What we are saying is that factory where they make the ties, that particular tie, that when the car is coming to the assembly plant where we shall locate in one particular country, right? That they will be having 4 wheels per car. And they are expected to make 5 million cars. You are talking about 20 million wheels. That is it. 20 million ties. There are so many parts, pistol, this, that, battery, this, everything, light bulbs, everything. Some countries may struggle because of the technology, and we don't need any seriously because we are going to sell it locally so that we will improve on that. With that, we'll build the West African industry. Remember, that particular car, because of the parts, the countries which will be encouraged so that they will not be importing the parts and then be shipping it to the assembly plant. They make it. So research centers have to start growing seriously. When you give somebody a contract 5 years, we want to see how much local you are sourcing. So we create more jobs. 5 years you don't do it, you go sit down, you give the contract to another country. Another industry within the country that is allocated. Now, can you imagine 5 million cars locally produced, and it will be improving? Because we can't compete on the international scale to make a car from West Africa. We by price, by everything, will not be okay, by quality. But if we sell it to ourselves, we will have a chance, and we can give us 10 years. In 5 years, we will be competing and exporting to other countries. Now look at it this way. How do you do this? For every country to follow this thing and do exactly what is there. Remember, they have a share. So they don't need to. Their children don't need to travel to Nigeria in that factory to go and work and clean their toilet. No, in their own country, they've got their share. Those who are making the wiring, those who are. So how do we do this? The question is. Remember, there's something we always overlook. The law. The law. The law. The law. Everything you see in a car is not about sitting down and doing what you like. There are laws. That's why you see the roads are built and the car go in. There is size. There is a measure of a car. When we say this is a car, this is a van, this is a truck, there are laws around them. So there are rules and regulations. The battery, that's why you see they all have numbers. They all have specification, they have standard. These are laws that control them. That is the law we have to make at the level of ECOWAS. When we say the law of making the car, we are talking about the law that will control the whole of West African countries to follow the rules. However, when it comes to standard, it's in the factory and in the industry. But when we say the law, we are talking about the law that will bring the whole of West Africa together. And we call that law supranational law. Remember, the jobs we are talking about. If somebody today is sitting in one factory, is a supervisor, when this industry starts, he will move up. Because he wants to better his life. He look for opportunity there. The job he's doing, he will leave it for somebody else to come and do. So we are pushing people into the industry. We are getting people to stop wasting their time. Life is short. friends, family, and brothers, I know what I've said and I explained makes sense to you. The ECOWAS supranational law is the key we need. The key that will make every country listen to ECOWAS and obey instruction and be punished when they misbehave. The ECOWAS supranational law. And I've told you always how to make this law. Very simple. Remember, the people are the law in a nation that is freedom, that is free. In the state of freedom, human right involve and includes or entails the people deciding who represent them in making the law. That's the difference between a colony and an independent state. And we are independent. Nobody will argue that. So please, brothers, take this issue of law serious. We can't sit down as human beings behaving as donkeys and then we expect some people to be choosing themselves to go to ECOWAS. We don't know them. They go to United Nations of ECOWAS. No. What we need is West Africa that will work like European Union, breeding, changing life, making difference. The law, the election of the members of ECOWAS Parliament directly by the people. It means we will cut the whole of West Africa into constituencies, the whole into constituency. Yes, according to the seats given to them at the ECOWAS Parliament. And people in those constituencies vote for those to represent. As soon as we do that, everything is over. I don't need to go beyond this. I think you understand. On this note, I think it's time we pause here as we explain the principles of the laws. See, my humble self, Kofi Ali Abdul. And if you like this video, please don't forget, like, share, more importantly, subscribe, so that anytime, if you like our message, I know you do, and you believe in overcoming poverty, we make a video, you get a copy. Please share and subscribe and grow the numbers.